Yay!
Oh, the GameCube, my beloved. On what game system would I have spent 60 hours playing Sonic Adventure DX at age 7 without you? There are also other really good games for the GameCube, like Sonic Adventure 2, and Sonic Heroes, and Sonic Mega Collection, and Autism Diagnosis. Okay, well, I spent a lot of time on this Nintendo console playing Sega games, ironically, but surely we have some classic Nintendo titles in here too, like Metroid Prime, or Luigi's Mansion, or The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, or God fucking damn. You know, I'm actually starting to realize I don't have that many Nintendo games for the GameCube, which is, you know, ironic considering it's a Nintendo console. You know, I'm not a 90s kid, and so I won't pretend I was there for it, but I can't imagine how weird it must have been for Sega to start putting Sega games on a Nintendo system after the two of them had been business rivals for a whole decade. But what was the first? What was the first Sega game ever released for a Nintendo console? This won't look good in my investment portfolio. This is gonna negatively impact my reproductive capabilities. Oh, this is actually kind of nice. Sega, what is your fucking problem? Oh my god. Listen up, guys. I love this game. I really do, but I think I suck at it. Oh, but it's not your fault. Me as a furry? You don't suck at Super Monkey Ball. Super Monkey Ball is just
stinking honkin' hunk of fucking donkey shit. I'd rather eat shitty dick than play this assload of fuck.
That's right. For Sega's introduction to Nintendo consoles, they decided to give us GameCubers this absolute classic of an arcade game. There's awesome music, timeless aesthetics, and gameplay that's easy for anyone to pick up and play. Poorly. How do you play it? It's pretty simple. You're a monkey in a ball, and you have to roll around a variety of obstacle courses and get to the goal before the timer runs out without falling off. The main mode is normal mode. Start on level 1, make your way to the goal, collect bananas to get an extra life, and then go to the next stage. Collect bananas, get to the goal. That's how it goes. And of course, if you manage to complete every stage, you win. There are 3 difficulties in normal mode: beginner mode, advanced mode, and expert mode. Each mode has a different selection of stages. Beginner is only 10 stages long with pretty mellow difficulty. Advanced kicks it up to 30 stages with more challenging courses to make your way through, and expert is the hardest difficulty, with 50 whole stages for you to figure out how not to die in. Pretty simple, right? Well, if my incessant wailing earlier wasn't already an indication, this game, despite appearances, is actually... You will suffer! That's right, guys, it's actually suffer, Monkey Ball. The amount of concentration and sheer mental power you have to summon to worm your way through some of these confounded mazes is genuinely beyond my ability to describe. Let me ask you a rhetorical question. How are you supposed to roll a marble around on a slender, snaking pathway as thin as a pencil without it falling off? I don't know, but that's Super Monkey Ball. Now, I'm sure this sounds challenging, but not impossible. Like, yeah, this level looks pretty hard. I mean, I'm sure it'll take a few tries, but you'll get it after, I don't know, maybe a few dozen tries at worst.
Oh my god!
Oh, you don't have a few dozen tries. You have 3 lives. Use them all up and you have to use one of your 5 continues to keep going. So in total, you get 18 lives, which is, as far as I'm aware, only a dozen and a half. Sounds a lot more manageable, right? Well, it depends. Beginner mode? This is pretty easy. I was even able to beat this as a kid without much difficulty. It's only 10 stages long and they're all pretty mellow. I don't need 5 continues to make it through this. I mean, it's easy. Advanced mode, on the other hand, is when the game takes off the training wheels. There are 30 stages and a lot of them are pretty tricky. I'm able to beat this now as an adult, but as a kid, I think I only ever managed it rarely, if ever. Expert mode, however. This is where the game shows its true colors as the unforgiving, perfection-demanding, skill-based arcade platformer that it truly is at heart. Beginner and Advanced are modes you can complete with some challenge, but Expert mode is where the game becomes less about making it to the end of the game, and more about just making it as far as you can. Expert mode is 50 stages long, and they are 50 stages that do not fuck around. For example, here's a level from Expert mode. It's the Sega logo. Why is this so difficult? Well, I don't know, maybe the Sega logo's graphic designer wasn't thinking, how am I going to roll balls across this when they designed it? You might be wondering, why don't you just jump over the gaps? Well, that's because you can't jump in this game. That's right, there is no
ability to jump.
You will roll these balls across these obstacle courses in strict accordance to the laws of physics, which states that a ball cannot jump.
Not even if there's a monkey in it.
So if you're looking at this footage and asking, why doesn't he just jump? It's because I can't. Sometimes the game will give you more difficult versions of levels you played in the easier modes. Oh no, there's a bump now. What am I gonna do? For example, this level is sponsored by Dole, and this one isn't. The final stage of beginner mode also comes back as just one of the many stages in advanced mode, but now with more tricks up its sleeve. And that stage, furthermore, becomes the 7th level of expert mode, and an infamously difficult one, I might add. Here's a stage in advanced mode where you have to roll around on a curved spiral pathway. And here's another stage in expert mode that's the same thing, but now it's thinner, and you really have to stay in the groove for this one. Oh my god.
No, that was my last life. It's over.
Or is it? No, it actually is over, Mouth continues. Speaking of lives and continues, if you manage to make it through every stage without losing any lives, you get to go to space. These are the extra stages, and you can only get to them
if you're good.
And if you beat the extra stages, well, you win, like, a second time. There he goes. Oh my god. Getting to the extra stages in beginner mode isn't that hard. I was able to make it through every stage without losing a single life pretty easy. I even managed to collect every single banana. Then I actually made it to extra mode and everything is fine. Oh fucking dicks. Advanced mode is not so easy. I came very close to my demise here, as you can see, but I managed it. I didn't lose a single life. I made it through all 30 levels of advanced mode without ever falling off or running out of time. Now all I have to do is make it to the final goal. As soon as it appears, which will be soon. I just have to wait for it. Oh my god, where is it? Okay, no, I can do this. Okay, I'm going to ball. I'm going to ball extremely hard. I'm going to ball harder than anyone has ever balled before. Holy shit. Okay, I'm going to... Well, at least I made it to the credits.
Hideo Kojima!
So if advanced mode is that tricky, how do you make it to the extra stages in expert mode then? Well, firstly, the rules are a bit more lax this time. Whereas in other modes you have to finish without losing a single life to get to the extra stages, in expert mode you only have to finish without losing a single continue. Secondly, you don't. Extra stages and expert? What extra stages and expert? You think I'm good enough to get to the end of expert mode, let alone without losing any continues? I'll have you know that rolling your balls across Sega's face is harder than it looks. You want to know something? I have never actually beaten expert mode. I always burn through almost all my continues in this desert world halfway through it. Specifically in this stage, I might add. Right. I'm God, watch this. And it's so tantalizing because the latest stages of expert mode are the only ways to see some of the more exotic environments in this game. Super Monkey Ball has a lot of cool different worlds, like the jungle, the sky, the city, and like none of them actually make a difference in gameplay, but the prospect of actually making it far enough into the game's harder difficulties to actually see some of these worlds is exciting. And it's such a magical feeling when you actually do make it there for the first time. It feels like you've actually finally survived long enough to see things no monkey has seen before, like you've entered a fabled realm that only the mightiest may tread in. And you really ought to tread lightly if you want to stay here too, because the levels in these later worlds get anything but any easier. Fortunately, not all as grim as it seems, because the game does give you a few methods of easing the pain, the first one being that if you pause the game, you can use the stage viewer, because it often helps a lot to actually take a moment to see what you're about to be rolling into, especially since you can get a good look at the stage without being confined to the time limit. It's also good for just taking a break from the gameplay for a moment and admiring the scenery. Sometimes, however, what you need is raw motor skill, and no matter how much you look at a stage, sometimes you just won't get any better at it unless you actually play it repeatedly. Fortunately for that, we have practice mode. You can use it to replay any stage you've already seen as many times as you need, so it's really good for finding strategies for trickier stages, like that damn Sega level I mentioned earlier, or for practicing outright tricks that just let you almost skip a stage entirely. And finally, as you make it further into the game and start unlocking more mini-games, the game also allows you a few more continues, though this doesn't change the fact that you still need to actually beat Expert without losing any continues in order to make it to the extra stages. With all these assistive techniques and technologies and whatnot, I have finally managed to make it all the way to the final world of expert mode, and we are really gonna make it this time.
Ready?
Hell yeah, I'm ready. Watch me ace this.
Yeah!
Okay, this stage is basically running along the top side of a pipe. Fortunately, the devs were generous enough to put this green path here, so it's easier to follow the pathways and... Now this stage, it appears to me that it's like a rail that you have to travel across at just the right time. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make it. Oh fuck. This game is a combination of strategy and pure motor skill, and the final stages of Expert are your true trial to see if you... What the hell, this looks easy. Wait. Okay, there probably has to be some kind of catch to this. Okay. Oh shit, I gotta make it through the bumpers to get in the goal. Hey, watch me ace this first try. Okay, this is it. This is the final stage of Expert Mode. Never in my life have I ever made it this far into Super Monkey Ball. You are witnessing history. Okay, here we go. Watch this. Why was Stage 7 harder than this? I finally did it. I finally made it to the end of Expert Mode after all these years. But we didn't make it to the extra stages. No, sir! To do that, I have to complete Expert Mode without using any continues. And just to be clear, the only reason I accomplished what you just witnessed was because the game gave me 7 continues to work with over the 5 that you start with. There are 10 extra stages in Expert Mode, meaning that if you manage to make it all the way through that, Expert Mode is not just 50, but 60 stages long. And legend has it that if you're able to complete all 50 expert stages without using a single continue, and then make it through all 10 of its extra stages also without using a single continue, you progress to the game's true, final, ultimate challenge. A special exclusive set of 10 stages that take place in a floating temple world. This is the very definition of the big leagues. These are the fabled master stages. And I have never seen them with my own eyes. And I really don't know if I have it in me to try, because I'm pretty sure that's just beyond my mortal capabilities. Super Monkey Ball is a game that requires such masterful precision and focus that it has a very significant correlation with intercorporeal suturing. And by that I mean that this game is so hard that studies have shown that playing it makes you a better surgeon. Let me touch your organs!